Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimi. We're going to be having lesson 4 today, but we're going to go through the assignments for lesson 3. So the first one says, using this table, we need to get non-duplicated product IDs. So let's do it real quick. I'm going to comment question 1 and let's put as select and from. So let's do a select top 10 real quick, top 10 star. We already have this table, so I'm going to copy it right here and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, I'm going to execute this. So we need to get distinct product IDs. So how do we do that? I need to get rid of this top 10 and then I'm going to write distinct, and we want to get distinct of the product ID right here. I'm going to execute this. So we can see that we have distinct 441 records. So let's do the same thing for table question 2. So question 2, we comment this way. So let's put as select and let's put our from. We want to go to this table right here, sales.customer table. I'm going to paste that here and let's do a top 10 star real quick so that we can see all the columns in that table. The question said to get non-duplicated record of stores. So we need the store ID. So I'm going to remove this one and I'm going to replace it with distinct store ID right here. And then I'm going to execute this. So we can see that we have 702 non-duplicated store IDs. So now let's move to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing the series on SQL and we'll be learning all about where clause and order by. So let's start with where clause. Where clause in SQL is a way that we do filtering. So where clause is a way we do filtering. We use where clause to filter out things that we don't need and we use it to get what we actually need. So let's use this employee table. I'm going to do a select star real quick from this employee table. This one. I'm just going to drag it here and I'm going to run a select star. Okay, we see all our employees, but my boss is asking me, okay, Mimi, can you please give me a list of all male employees? That tells me that I need to filter. He doesn't want the female, he just wants the male employees. And I just need to look on my table and say, where do I have gender or sex? I see it here. This is the gender. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy this and keep it here so we have it. Now, we need to modify this query. I'm going to write this and put it down here and bring this up here. Okay, let me make this uppercase. So now we need a where clause. Your where will go right after the from. Right after from, so I'm going to type where. So now I've put where, but now SQL Server is asking me, what column do you want me to look at? We want it to look at this gender column, so we start typing gender, this gender. Okay, now what? You need to tell it what you want. We want male gender. So you say equals male. Okay. Now it's giving us an error. That's because anytime you have a text, you have to put it in a quote. So I'm going to put it in a quote like this and another quote. So now there's no error. I'm going to run this and we'll see here. Let's see. Now we have just male employees. Okay. So that's how we do where clause. When anytime you have a text, you just put it in the quotes and you're good to go. Next one says, give me a list of all level 3 employees. So since we already have this query that gives us everybody, I'm going to copy it and I'll put it here. Okay, now it's saying, give me a list of all employees of level 3 employees. Okay, let's run this again and see what we have. So we can see here that we have organizational level. So they're looking for just number 3. So we'll say where what? You need to give it the column name. So organizational level equals 3. Now we don't need a quote. Why? Because this organizational level, when I put my cursor, you see it's a small int. When you're dealing with numbers, you don't need a quote. When you're dealing with text, you need a quote. So I'm going to run this. Now we should only see 3. See, all of those people are 3. Okay. The next one says, give me a list of all employees that were hired on 2008 December 7. So let's run this query without the where clause first. And I'm going to copy that query. I'll put it here. Okay, so this was saying we only want to see people that were hired on this particular date. So I need to start writing my where. Now I need to look for like a column that shows me when somebody was hired. I see hired dates here, so I'll type hired dates. I'll say equals because I'm looking for a particular date. So I can just copy this particular date. They already gave it to me. Now with dates, you also have to use a quote. So quotes goes for text and dates. So now if I run this, now I only see those 5 people, and if you notice, they were all hired on the exact same date. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this one is saying, give me a list of all employees that have more than 40 vacation hours. So let's copy our base query. I'm going to paste it here. So it's saying that we need employees that have more than 40 vacation hours. So let's start typing our where clause. Remember, where comes after from. Now where, what column tells us how many vacation hours somebody have? If we just run all of this, we see that this is the column. It's called vacation hours. So we start typing vacation hours right here. It says more than. So when you see more than, it means you have to use a greater sign symbol. So more than what? More than 40. So remember, 40 is a number, and this is a vacation hours. If you see, it's a small int. With integer, we don't use a quote. So when I run this, we only see those people that have more than 40. Okay, so now we're looking for who are marketing assistants or their tool designer. So I'm going to do my where. Now we need to look for the column that tells us their job title. I see job title, so I'll start typing job title here, and then I'll say equals because I'm trying to match their exact job title. I'm going to copy this because they already gave me marketing assistant. I'm going to paste it here. Remember, when we have a text, we need to put a quote. So now I put a quote. When I run this, I'm only going to get marketing assistant, but they're asking me for tool designers as well. Anytime they're asking you for multiple things, then you have to combine multiple conditions. These are called conditions. You are telling SQL Server different conditions. So now for tool designer, we have to say or. So we're saying it's either your job title is marketing assistant or your job title is, I'm going to copy this and say your job title is tool designer. I'm going to paste it here. And remember, we need a quote, so I'm going to put a quote right here. So now this is telling SQL Server it's either your job title is a marketing assistant or your job title is a tool designer. Now when I execute this, we can see that we see all the tool designer and we also see the marketing assistant. Okay. So the next one now says, give me a list of single employees who are female. So let me copy the base query. If we run it now, we want to see only single people and they have to be female. So I will say where. Now the column that tells us if they are single or married is this marital status. Marital status. So equals, we are only interested in single people. So remember, quotes, single. Now if I just execute this, I'm getting all the single, that's fine, but they want just female. Now I'm still saying male. Now this is where and comes in. So and means that I want those two conditions to be true. What is that second condition? It says that they have to be female. So we have to type gender equals to female F. So now when I run this should only return people that are single. See, now female, only female. So the difference between or and is that or, one of them has to be true, one of the condition. For and, all the condition has to be true. Okay, one thing that I want to clarify here real quick is with or, you also have a choice. So let me copy this and let me paste the base query here. We can still achieve this all by using a syntax called in. So if I come here and I say where job title, you can notice here that we listed job title is equals to marketing assistant, or job title is equals to tool designer. Let's say they gave you another one, technician. You're going to have to say or job title is technician. Instead of listing this over and over, you can use a syntax called in. So with in, you just have to say job title once. Say job title in meaning check all this list that I'm going to provide, and within you have to use this parentheses. Now you can now list all the job titles that you have been provided with. So I want you to SQL Server check if this person has this. It works like all. It's the exact same way as all. Check if they have this or they're this all. So as many as you have, you can list them here. So now if I execute this, see, it's executing. It works the same way. Now we have 5. Remember, now if I run this one too, see, we have 5. In and all, they are very similar. So the next one says, give me a list of all employees with the most sick leave hours first. So now this takes us into order by. Order by is a way that we do sorting in SQL. So I'm going to copy our base query and I'll paste it here. So now we want all employees with most sick level hours first. So we can see sick level here. We want to see the person with the most at the top of the list all the way down. So we need order by. Order by is sorting in SQL. Now order by what? We need a column to tell it. So our column is going to be vacation hours. So vacation hours. Now if I just run this, as you see, now we're seeing 0 first and then 1. But the question says to do with the most person to be at the top. Right now, the most person is at the bottom. How do we fix that? Anytime that you do order by, if you don't specify something here, then SQL automatically will do it in ascending order, meaning the smallest to the largest. But if you want it to do it from the largest to the smallest, then you have to do descending. By default, it is going to do ascending by default. So now if I run this and say execute, now if you see here, now we have the most at the bottom, at the top, and now we have the least at the bottom. Okay, says the next one says, give me a list of all employees with employees showing the most recently hired employees first. So let me copy the base query. Now we need to do some kind of sorting. They said the most recently hired employee to be at the top. Hire date is right here. So we need to do order by hire date. Hire date. Okay, now they said the most recently hired employee to be first. If I run this, we see 2006. If we go to the bottom, we see 2013. Remember, by default, SQL will do ascending, but we want to see the most recent person. That means we want to do descending. So when I change this to descending, and I say execute, now we see 2013. That's the most recent person that was hired. If we go all the way to the bottom, we see this was the first person that we hired. One thing to keep in mind about order by is that you can have as many columns as you want, and we're going to explain that with this next question. This one says, give me a list of all employees, showing the most recently hired employee with least sick leave hours first. So it's similar to the first one. We want to see the person that was recently hired, but we also now want to check the one that has the least sick hours should come first. So since we already have the base query, I'm going to copy it from here. Okay, since we're looking at the most recently hired person, we already know that we have to use descending. And if I run this again, we can see here. Okay, now it's saying that the one that has the least sick leave hours. If we notice that these two persons, they were hired on the exact same date, but this one has the most sick leave hours, our query is supposed to put this one with the least first and put this other one at the bottom. So how do we do that? Now we have to tell SQL Server, I want you to order by hire date, that's fine, but I also want you to order by the sick leave hours. So you just need to put a comma. And now what is the column name? The column name is sick leave hours. So I'm going to type sick leave hours. Okay, remember, if you don't put anything here, the default is ascending. So if I run this now we can see that these two people, they are still here, that's fine, but now we see the least person here. That's because it's going from ascending, meaning the smallest to lowest. So this is the smallest one. Now smallest to highest. So smallest 37 to 38. If this was from the most sick leave hours to the least, then you have to put a descending here. Now if I run this, pay attention that this is going to switch these two people. So I'm going to execute this. Now we can see the person with the most sick leave hours is now at the top. So when you put descending, meaning you want to go from highest to lowest. When you put ascending, or if you want, you can put ascending. Even if you don't put it, by default it's ascending. If I run this now, you notice that now it's ascending from the lowest to the highest. So you can have as many columns as you want here in the order by section. Just make sure you let SQL Server know what type of do you want to do descending or you want to do ascending. When you don't have it, then it's going to do ascending automatically. So for next homework, our next homework is we're going to be using this product table. So I'm going to do a select star real quick so that we can see what we need to do. Select star from this table. Let's see what we have in this table. So we have all product information. So the first query is set to write a query that will return silver products only. Remember, you have to look for the column that shows you the color. Here I can see color. The second one said to return black products, but not just black products. They have to have more than size has to be more than 44. So I see size column here. The next one says to write query to return all products. So now we need all products, but we want to see the highest list price first. So I see here that we have list price column. And the last one says to write a query that will return white, red, black, and blue product. So we are going to use color here. So when you're done, I'm going to put this in the description box below. You can copy it from there and write your query. And when you're done, please put in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer you. Lastly, if you want to save your query so that you don't miss it next time, you just do Ctrl S, or you can go up here where it says File and you go and say Save. So this will open your file explorer. You can give it a name and say My Query and save it. So that next time when you open up your file, you can just double click it and it will bring you back here and you can continue writing your query. That's it. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time. Bye.